Okay, let's go. Okay, we left off yesterday that according to the Torah, the Pri Chodesh and Alter Rebbe, besides the din of that you have to drink Dalet Kaisis, and that there have to be Dalet Kaisis Mufradim, there's also a din that each kais has to be a separate kais. The first kais has to be a kais shel Kiddush, the second kais a kais shel Agoda, the third kais shel Birchas Hamazon, the fourth kais the kais shel Halal. Like you medayik this din also, and that's the way the Alter Rebbe learns. Because in Siman Tov Ayin Beis, Sif Chof Hey, the Alter Rebbe writes like this: V'af haktanim chayv aviyim lechanchem lechanchom b'mitzvahs lashkeis and kaisis ala seder. Also, ktanim, the father is obligated to mechanech them in mitzvahs and to give them to drink the four kaisis in the order that will be explained. In prior chinuch, if they already reached the age of chinuch. The Alter Rebbe says, what's the age of chinuch? That they came to the time where you can be mechanech, where it's fit to be mechanech them to hear what you say on the kais. They know the concept of Kedushas Yontif, and therefore you have to mechanech them to hear the Kiddush that you say on the first kais. And they have knowledge to understand what they tell them about Yetzias Mitzrayim, Bamiras HaGodah. Therefore it's fit to mechanech them to hear the HaGodah She'em HaKosh Shed. L'chein chai v'chanchem l'shmoya Birchas Hamazon she'em ha'kois gimel, v'chanchem them to hear Birchas Hamazon that we say on the third kois. The Gemara hala v'hala godel v'nishva she'em ha'kois dal. So the Alter Rebbe writes, what's the age of chinuch of drinking the four koises? But you can understand what we say on the koises. Now, if we say that what we say on the koises has nothing to do with the etzem mitzvah of shtiyas dal koises, so why is the age of chinuch of shtiyas dal koises when they can understand what we say on the cases? So here also is muchach that what we say on the cases is not only mitzat the din bracha that has to be ala kais, but mitzat the etzem shtiyas hakais, that the first kais has to be the kais shel kiddush. When I drink the first kais, it has to be a kais shel kiddush. The second kais has to be the kais shel agoda, and so on. So you see also over here clearly that the Alter Rebbe paskin that because he passes like the two in the Pri Chodesh, that it's not only a din of shtiyas kaises and the rest is a kais shel bracha where the kais comes for the sake of the bracha, but the bracha is a din in the etzem kais, that the kais that we drink has to be four distinct kaises. The first kais has to be a kais shel kiddush, the second kais has to be the kais shel agoda, and so on. Right, partial mitzat shtiyas hakaises. Right, we said there's two. You have to, each kais has to be a separate kais, a kais for itself. You shouldn't drink them one with a hefsek. Second, now besides that, there has to be a relation between the kais. Each kais has to have its own shem. It has to have its own name. It's a distinct kais. And that's why the Alter Rebbe writes the age of chinuch is then, and you can be medayik it also from Sif Chof Ches, that the Alter Rebbe says that if you don't have wine, wine is not around. So Av Bisha Bekiddush Shayam and Tevim Shabbos Yisrael Tevim Kaddish Al Pas, the Kaddish Al Shar Mashkin, even though by every other Yom Tov it's better to be Mekadosh on Pas than to be Mekadosh on Chamar Medina, not to make Kiddush on Mashke, better to make Kiddush on Pas than to make Kiddush on Mashke. clear psak in the Alter Rebbe. Avapi shu commotion is by the call makom belel Pesach, but on Leil Pesach, efshar lekadish al pas. Leil Pesach, you can't be mekadosh al pas. Shai chayev ba'arba krisis, because you're mechuyev in dalet krisis. V'avishnu krishel kiddush, and the first krisis is the krishel kiddush. Now, if the brachas have nothing to do with the etzem shtiyas hakrisis, with the mitzvah of shlishti dalet krisis, so what's the problem if I'm going to make kiddush on pas, and then drink dalet krisis? Because the Alter Rebbe holds that you can create a dalet krisis with chamar medina. To drink dalet krisis of chamar medina, make kiddush ala pas. The Alter Rebbe says you cannot make kiddush ala pas. Why? Because the first kos that you're drinking has to be a koshel kiddush. Now, if there's no din, it's at the etzem shtiyas hakrisis that it has to have a distinct shem, it has to have a distinct name, koshel kiddush, koshel agoda, and so on. So what's the problem? Make kiddush ala pas and then drink chamar medina. 4 cases. What is the problem? Elamai is muchach over here that the din of kiddush, the kiddush is not only a koshel bracha, mitzad the kiddush itself, but mitzad the etzem shtiyas hakos, like the lashon of the Alter Rebbe is, v'rishen ukos shel kiddush. The first of the dalet koses that I have to drink is the koshel kiddush. So you see again, this din, like the Tur, the Pri Chodosh, that it's not enough. There should be separate koses, but each kos has to also be a distinct kos. Each kos has to have its own shem. Koshel kiddush, koshel agoda, koshel birchas hamazon, koshel halal, and that's how you yotze the shtiyas dalet koses. So it's muchach that din. Now, in the Gemara Sochet, right. Give me that craving. You have a craving over there? Give me the craving. In the Gemara Pesachim Kuf Tesam at Beis, the Gemara that is, or Yitzkulam Arba cases. You have to need 4 cases. So the Gemara asks, Hechem Esakin Rabbanim needed also this according. But Tanya, the Yechel Adam Trey, but a Yishta Trey. However, Rabbanim Esakin Arba cases, which is Zugais. So halacha that a person shouldn't drink Zugais because it's sakona. So you have Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Krol El Shmurim Leila Meshuma Dom and Azikin. Tonight you don't have to be choishish for Zugais. Rava says Koisha Brocha Mitzvah L'Teiva, Mein Mitzvah L'Roh. The Koisha Brocha, the Koisha Birchas Hamazon is not Mitzvah L'Roh, it's only Mitzvah L'Teiva. Ravina Amar Abba Kaisa Tiki Rabbanon, their Cherus, Kol Chad V'Chad Mitzvah B'Nafshu. That's what the Rif brings down. The Rabbanon were Mesakin Abba Kaisa's their Cherus, Kol Chad V'Chad Mitzvah B'Nafshu. Each one is a mitzvah for itself. Ve'en mitztarfin zeh lezeh. So the Rashash is medayik from this, that since the Gemara says, Kol Chad V'Chad Mitzvah B'Nafshu, that if, let's say, somebody doesn't have Arba Kaisis, he only has 2 or 3 kais, or 1 kais, 1 or 2 or 3, so it's a mitzvah to drink 1 or 2. Each one is a mitzvah for itself. It's not that Arba Kaisis are one big mitzvah. But each kais is a mitzvah for itself. And therefore, it's not zugas, because each kais is distinct for itself. That's what the Rashash wants to say from this Gemara. If we take a look at Rabbeinu David asked the question, it can't be such a thing. He says, if somebody drinks 1 or 2 kaises, le'osav le'klum. That's the question of Rabbeinu David. The mitzvah is dalit kaises. If I drink less than dalit kaises, I'm not mekayim any mitzvah. That's Rabbeinu David. He says, what's pshat in the Gemara mitzvah b'nafshu? Because since there are bonim or misakin, like the Gemara that we mentioned yesterday in Kuf Zayin, that kol chad v'chad never be mitzvah, so it's daima to separate cases, but it's not mamish separate cases, because the mitzvah of shtiyas dal cases is shtiyas dal cases, but since we say a separate bracha on each case, so therefore that gives them a separation, even though it's one big mitzvah. The brachas that we say. In the Maral, it also says clearly that if you don't drink daled cases, you drink 2, 3 cases, sigur nish. It doesn't mean anything. That's not the mitzvah of shtiyas. The mitzvah is shtiyas daled cases. Either you drink daled cases or sigur nish. That's Rabbeinu David in the Maral, clear, not like the Leiker Rishash. So the Av B'Kei, we find in the Alter Rebbe, in Siman Tov, Pei Gimel, the Kol Zeh Kishein Lo Yain Klal, V'Lo Mashke. There is a whole siman. If somebody doesn't have wine, how should he run the Seder? The Alter Rebbe says, in Halacha Dal, in the Makor is the Mogen Avraham, if you do have 1 cup of wine or Chamar Medina, you Kaddish Allah, you Kaddish Allah Pas. So you should make Kiddush on the Yain and not on a Pas. After B'Shar Yontiv V'Shabbos is a Kaddish Allah Pas, but even though that every other Yontiv, if you we can be mekadosh ala pas. Mekovakam belayla zeh but leil Pesach kishetiknu chacham v'dalat kaises tiknu lekadosh ala yain v'leil ala pas. Made a takon to mekadosh on wine and not on pas. So this Alter Rebbe is not arguing Rabbeinu David in the Maral. It's a totally separate halacha. That when this over here, you see in the Alter Rebbe a 4th din in dalat kaises. Now until now we talked 3 dinim. Shtiyas yain dal kaises, and there has to be dal kaises nifrodes, and that each kais has to have its own name. Now the Alter Rebbe is saying over here that if, let's say, I cannot be mekayim the mitzvah of dal kaises, like the Lashon Rabbeinu David, li osav li klum, you're not doing anything if I drink 1 or 2 or 3 kaises, as far as the mitzvah of shtiyas dal kaises is concerned. If I have 1 kais, kishetiknu dalet kaises, it's not only a takona of dalet kaises, but they made a takona in the kiddush itself, that the kiddush has to be ala yain, that the kiddush has to be a kaishel bracha. So besides the original dinim, it's not shtiyas dalet kaises, there's a din of shtiyas dalet kaises, there's another din in the kiddush. Not in the mitzvah of shtiyas dal kaises, in the kiddush. That when they were masakin dal kaises, they also made a takona in the kiddush that the kiddush has to be ala yain, and that's the din in the kiddush, not mitzvah dal kaises. Like the lashon of the Alter Rebbe, the laila zeh kishetiknu chacham dal kaises when the Chacham were Mesaken Dal Koises, Tiknu Lekadish ala Yayin, they were Mesaken to Kadish ala Yayin, Veloy ala Pat, and not on Pat. Ve'em Yesh Loi Shnei Koises, if you have two Koises, you Kadish ala Rishon, V'achakach, we make Kiddush on the first cup, V'achakach Yemer HaGoda Beloy Kois, U'bichas HaMozen Yivarach HaKois Sheni. If you have two Koises, so the Alter Rebbe says, so you make Kiddush on the first cup, and Bichas HaMozen you say on the second cup. And he asks, V'av she'em aviyun ala mitzvahs, v'yroid le'im ha'goda kois sheni, mikavach kim shetikna chom laila zeh kois le'bichas HaMozen, v'kois le'ha'goda, v'shnei ha'kois ha'lo l'shkulin hein, but since the Chachamim were mesaken tonight a kois for Bichas HaMozen, and they were mesaken a kois for the ha'goda. And those two koises, the kois ha'goda and the kois, as the same chiyuv, ששניהם את הכונס חכם בלילה הזה, they're both in the Chachamim. אם כן, כשלא נשאר רק כוס אחד, so when you only have one כוס, לא יוצא לברך על ביחס המוזן, שאף לא יתקון זו יש היום שכל ביחס המוזן תונה כוס. So therefore, it's better to use the כוס of ביחס המוזן than for the Agoda. So you see over here clearly, if this would be a din in the Shtiyas HaKoises, what's shaykh that when I say the Agoda, beloy kois, I'm mavir ala mitzvah. Which mitzvah am I mavir? I'm not being behind the mitzvah of dal koises anyway. Elamai, because just like the Alter Rebbe said, when they were mesaken dal koises, so they were mesaken to make kiddush ala kois, so they were also mesaken to make hagod ala kois, like the lashon of the Alter Rebbe, shtik b'chacham le'im hagod ala kois, and they were mesaken to say bichas hamazon ala kois, even if a whole year I'm not nizer. So there's a separate takon in the brachas that we say tonight. One, besides the three dinim that we have, mitzat din dal kaises that have to drink dal kaises, which is one mitzvah of drinking dal kaises. There's another takon that we're misaken, that the kiddush has to be ala kais, the agoda has to be ala kais, the bichas hamazon has to be ala kais, etc. That's easy. What?
The din of the kiddush and the kais.
Yeah.
It has to do with the whole year, or it has to do specifically?
No, specifically tonight, because the whole year I can make Kiddush on a pass.
Or also the whole year,
The Chatchila. But there's, but if what? What? Nachamo. Birchas Hamazon the whole year we hold the Birchas Hamazon is not tuna kos. That's the way the minhag is. Tonight you need ala kos. It's a takon ala kos. You see this also from another halacha. You see this also that tonight, besides the takon of shtiyas dalet koises, there's a halacha of dalet koises shel bracha tonight. There's a halacha of dalet koises shel bracha. Besides that, what the Alter Rebbe. 1 second. Let me go first. The Magen Avraham in Tov Ein Beis. Simchat in the Dalet. Nearly, he writes like this, nearly the Misha Eino Ela Arba Kaises with some Sames, Acha Mezige. If somebody only has four Kaises and comes Pesach. Yikham Le Laila Yushin should take all 4 Kaises for the first night. But Yikham V'lo Yikach Beis Laila Yushin Le Kiddush Le Bichas Hamazon, Le Beis Laila Shniya, and you shouldn't take 2 for the first night for Kiddush and Bichas Hamazon, and 2 for the second night for Kiddush and Birchas Hamazon. So he says over here a number of reasons. Chodo da v'kiyim b'kviya d'yach. V'yem kama ikar. One reason he says is because today we're kiyim b'kviya d'yach. We are boki. We don't have a real sake of the yemer. So therefore the Laila Rishon is ikar. That's first reason. V'oi, another reason. The Kiddush shel Yontiv d'Rabbanan. Now the reason he says that Kiddush of Yontiv is only with Rabbanan, and Birchas Hamazon Some say it doesn't need a kois. So therefore, lechein presuma nisa adif. The presuma nisa is better.
Which is the first day.
With the presuma nisa adif. So we hear in this Magen Avraham, we also see that if I don't have dal cases, I don't have the presuma nisa. I need all the dal cases for the presuma nisa.
Why doesn't he say that?
What?
Without that, you don't have doubt.
What?
Doing 2 cups in the first night, doing 2 cups in the second night.
Right, so that's good for what? No, that's good for what he's saying. He's saying the din of Kiddush ala kois, the din of Birchas Hamazon ala kois, that's only the Rabbanon and not according to all the days. Right? It's only with Rabbanon and not with other. So therefore, the presuming nisa of drinking dal kois together is better. So you see over here again that you need, like the Rabbeinu David says, and like the Maral say, that you need dal cases. Presuming nisa. Why the Kiddush efshar b'pas? And he says also Kiddush efshar b'pas. So he says a number of reasons. The Alter Rebbe in Tov Pei Gimel. The Alter Rebbe in Tov Pei Gimel says. He says, the end of Im Yesh La'arba Krisis, Yish Kulam B'Layla Rishon, V'lo Yadiach Echad Mehem B'Layla Sheni. That if you have 4 krisis, you should drink them all on the first night and don't leave anything over for the second night. Because the first night is the Iker, She'onim P'kiyah B'Kviyah Tzachayim. V'yein on Shem Yishnu Kreder Hashem Chayil. Ein on Neigim B'Kreder Shel Kadesh L'Izal from Minik Avosei. So he only says the first reason of the Magen Avraham. He doesn't say the other reasons of the Magen Avraham. Why doesn't he say the other reasons? The Alter Rebbe also is like the Dal cases, etc. The other 2 reasons, according to what we're saying, is partial. Because tonight there's a takona to make Kiddush ala kois. There's a takona to say Birchas Hamazon ala kois. So therefore, yesh eimim she'ein Birchas Hamazon tuna kois. Not tonight. Tonight it is tuna kois. And the Kiddush is tuna kois. So therefore, now, should I be Makai in the midst of Dalit, so I have a separate takona, that tonight when Chazal were Mesakin Dalit kois, we're Mesakin also a separate din on Kiddush, a separate din on the Agoda, a separate din on the Birchas Hamazon. So a separate din on Hal, that they have to be ala kois. So therefore, to say that because Yesh Eimin to Birchas Hamazon and tuna kois is not shaykh to tonight. You can be Mekadosh ala pas, it's not shaykh to tonight. Because there's a takona tonight that have to be, that you have dalit kaises shel bracha. Besides the shtiyas dalit kaises, there's a takona of dalit kaises shel bracha. And these dalit kaises shel bracha, even if I only have 1 kais, I can do it. When it comes to shtiyas dalit kaises, so the mitzvah is to drink all 4 kaises. Without that, like Lashon Rabbeinu David, li asav li klum, he didn't do nothing. And the Maral says the same thing. That's a shvar shtiyas dalit kaises. But then there's a separate takona. Shapiro, what are you doing over there? The live one. Why is the might of the live one when you have the cheftze? What do you need? What do you need? What? Both midas. No, both midas. In the meantime, you're distracted. You're not listening. Impossible. You can't do 2 things at one time when it comes to learning. Either you concentrate or you don't concentrate. So you see, so he's mashmi to other reasons of the Magen Avraham. Why? Because Hamshich Dvorov can. That is because tonight there's a separate takona. So it comes out according to the Alter Rebbe that there's, I don't know, it's 4 dinim, it's separate, or this is all like 1 big takona, that with such years, dal cases, you have 3 dinim. That you have to drink yain of dal cases. And it's like shosim bevas achas. They yain yotza. Yotza, there's drinking of wine. The chayrus, whatever it is. Then there's a din that these 4 cases has to be 4 separate cases. 4 separate cases. in order to be Yetzer the mitzvah of Dalet Kaises. Then there's another din also that not only separate kaises but distinct kaises. That the first kais has to be a kais shel kiddush, the second kais the kais shel hakodesh, the third kais the kais shel bichas, fourth kais the kais shel hal. Now there's a takana from the other side that the kiddush and the haggadah and the bichas hamazon and the hal necessitate a kais shel bracha, where the kais comes for the bracha, not the bracha comes for the kais. In the third din, the bracha comes for the kais. In this din, the kais comes for the bracha. I need a kais for the bracha. That's okay. Clear. Taisves in Arba Pesachim, we mentioned this yesterday, and the Rosh in Arba Pesachim. On Tzedek Testament base, Taisves says that maybe you could be mighty with Dalet cases, and only the Balabais needs Dalet cases. You need to be mighty the Bnei Bayis. Maishno Kiddush. What's the difference in Kiddush? Etc. All the Riches and Faces, I'm not going to go into all the problem. Wants to be Medai for Akol Chayon Ba'arba Krisis. He says it's not a Raya. That doesn't mean that they have to be mamish drink the Dalet Krisis. Could be they just have to hear the bracha for the Dalet Krisis. Taisus fear says, lahachme lahatzich arba kaises kol echad. Lahachme matzich arba kaises kol echad. Okay, 1 second. So now the Maral in Gvuras Hashem asks some Taisus. He says he doesn't understand why is Dalet Kaises different than matzah and mur. Can we mitzvah with matzah and mur? It's a mitzvah that you have to. No, it's a mitzvah of drinking Dalet Kaises. How can you be mitzvah with Dalet Kaises? Kiddush, the main thing is the Kiddush, it's a kaish shel bracha. Dalet Kaises is you have to drink Dalet Kaises. What's the Bechal the Havamina? The Viskarov brings a Reb Chaim that asks the same question that was Mechavan to the Maral. So he says it's Muchach from Taisus that Taisus learns that the din of Dalet Kaises is not Shtiyas Dalet Kaises, but Dalet Kaises shel bracha. And that's why he compares it to Kiddush for the whole year. That the Dalet Kaises is not Dalet Kaises shel Shtiyas Dalet Kaises, like most Rishonim say, but it's a din of Dalet Kaises shel bracha. So you have a Taisus and a Rosh like that. What? No, we'll soon see. Near Lahachmir, it's just Lahachmir. It doesn't have Charota. And that Taisus holds, that's what Chaim said. That Taisus holds like that the main thing of Dalet Kaises is Kaish shel bracha. Is beforish also in Taisus in Sukkot of Lamed Ches. I don't know why he doesn't bring it. Beforish a Taisus over there. Should have brought it. Taisus in Sukkot of Lamed Ches says, Mashma Khan, Isha Ptur Mahal the Sukkot. The more of there is Mashma, the Isha is put in saying Mahal and Sukkot. The chain that says the time is in the mitzvah shazman gromo. Afagav, it says Afagav the behal leil pesachim mashim perek avi pesachim the mechayim the Dalet Kaises. Even though the halal of leil Pesach is mashma and the gemara pesachim that the mechuyev because the mechuyev in Dalet Kaises. Umistamer like tiknu Dalet Kaises el kedei leima aleim halal. Vagod. Why we second Dalet Kaises? The Gemara says they're chai because Avein Hayabai Sanes. But what's the chiyuv of Dalet Kaises? Taisus says, what's the chiyuv of Dalet Kaises? To say on it Hallel and Hagod. So Taisus says clearly, what's the din of Dalet Kaises? Not Shtiyas Dalet Kaises, but the Kaish shel bracha. The whole din of Kaises to say on the Kaish Hallel. So vice versa, the mechuyev and Hallel of Leil Pesach. That's what Taisus says. So it's often a Taisus. And be'emes, it's not such a big chiddush mitzad right? Because if you take a look in the Meiri, and then in the Maram Chalavet, right in the beginning of Arba Pesachim, they say clearly what's the din of Dalet Kaises, Choda, Leimer of Kiddush, Shniya Loim Alav Agod. The Meiri says clearly this lashon, and the Maram Chalav also says clearly the din of Dal Kesef is Dal Kesef. They say that clearly. So there is in the Rishonim that this is now when the Alter Rebbe Tov Pei Gimel says that there's a takon of Dal Kesef Bracha. Some learn that that's the whole yesod of Dal Kesef. Some Rishonim. Okay, but in Tosfos, we'll see how this is. I need this for in order to match with Alter Rebbe. Near lahach, Tosfos finishes off. Near lahachmer lahatzich aber koisen chol echad. V'amachmer tzech lizer shlei koisen pogum. Am a gemara time of pogum. Tosfos says that near lahachmer that everybody has to have its own kois. It's not only to be yetzer. And Tosfos. So l'chur you learn what's the meaning near lahachmir. That maybe Tosfos holds that you have to drink the dal cases. It's not only dal kesher bracha. Is that the reason for the chumrah? But if that's the reason for the chumrah, so what's the oisir of Tosfos? Shlo yehei koisam pogum. That the kois shouldn't be pogum. The din that the kois is not allowed to be pogum is the din in kesher bracha. In the dalit koises that it's not allowed to be pogum. The Chure often in Gemara, there is no such in the Shtiyas Dal cases. The Chure often in Gemara, there's no such thing. Because the Gemara says, Hishke mehem lebonav lebeisai yotza. If you give the drink to your family from your kois, so you get it's pogum. Vice versa, that with such Shtiyas Dal cases, we don't care about pogum. The din of pogum is the din of Kosher Bracha. In the Alter Rebbe it says, in Sifchov Dalet, Chofai Beis Sifchov Dalet, Rima Koish Shosel Balabais Men who Godu Umazi Kamera Biyes, the Chayim Bonos of Nebeis said lots is the Mashin Shtar Bekois. The Shtiyas Balabais. Vavachi Gia Roy Biyes a Cholech Vechot. As long as each one got the Roy Biyes, so it's fine. Each one separately. So each one should drink from a full cup, because that's a Hida Mitzvah as explained in Simon Kuf Pei Gimel. And in Kuf Pei Gimel is talking about Kosher Bracha. Maybe he's learning that since I see that a Kos Mole is a Hidur, by Kosher Bracha. So when there's a mitzvah of drinking Dal Kaises, so it's a heater that it should be a Kos Mole. He's learning out one from the other. That's one way you can learn. Or you can learn is that it's the Dal Kais also has to be a Kosher Bracha, so it has to be a Kos Mole. But then I saw in the Marmar Kremis in the new Shulchan Aruch, so over there they have a whole long order that why does the Alter Rebbe speak about Kos Mole? Pogum is much worse. Why doesn't he speak about Pogum? Als Kosher Bracha, pogum, it shouldn't be pogum, so you should avoid pogum. Why didn't he say that each one should have his own kos, so it shouldn't be pogum? That's what he says, in Kuf Pei Gimel, when by Kosher Bracha, there's a mitzvah of tima for Kosher Bracha. So what do you do that you shouldn't be pogum? Each one should have its own kos. It says over there, by Kosher Bracha, so it should be claimed from Yain Shein Pogum. By Kosher Bracha, there's a din of pogum. By Shtiyas Dal cases, we don't find a separate din of pogum. And the din of pogum by Kosher Bracha is that I have to say the bracha on a Yain Shein Pogum, and drink from that. The Yesod Dover is mitzvah the bracha. By Shtiya's Dalit Kaisis, Pogum is not mentioned. It's not mentioned. It doesn't mention the union of Pogum. Because it's separate din of Shtiya. So who says that in Shtiya that it's not allowed to be Pogum? As Kovet HaBrocha, it shouldn't be Pogum.
Ja, als elders der Herz in Stiers places can't learn the problems of problem.
Why?
Stamens der Herz again.
Pogum is a union of Cheshivas Hayai. Not Pogum. We're not talking about sanitary reason. We're not talking about Corona. We're talking about Cheshivas Hayai. Whatever. But it's our components over here. Let's say I'm wrong in this. I don't know. I was looking. I'm searching. I didn't find anywhere by Shtiya's Dalit Kaisis there's a sort of problem. The Alter Rebbe, since he mentioned only Kais Molle, which is in a lesser dargah. What? There's a din of yes. Shtiya Reva. What's the problem? For me, it doesn't make a difference whether my father drank from it or not.
What is Pogum?
Pogum is that somebody drank from it. Even your best friend. Yes. Pogum is not Pogum like it says by Bittul Isur. Pogum is that somebody drank from it. It has to be fresh wine. That's Pogum. So I didn't find by Shtiya's Dalit Kaisis the sort of Pogum. I didn't find it. And for care from the fact that Alter Rebbe mentions only Kais Mole, because that's a heater in the Kais. That's a Kais Mole. And that's over here, it's Arba Kaisis. So there's a heater of Kais Mole. But Pogum, I don't find that. Maybe there is, I don't know. Over there they have all arichas. And it's taken a big question. When the Alter Rebbe comes out, Pogum by Kaisha Bracha, Pogum is much worse than Kais Mole. In din of Kaisha Bracha. But over here, the Taisa says clearly Kais Pogum, which is the Chura din from, comes out the Chura from Taisis, and we'll soon see how it's moved from the Alter Rebbe. Comes out from Taisis that over here, that when there is a Kaisha, the Kol Echad Ve'echad, is not dafka because there's a chiyuv of Shtiya. Mitzat Atzma. The Dalit Kaisis, they were misaken to say Dalit Eidois, Kiddush, Agode, Birchas Hamazon, Halo. That's the Dalit Kaisis according to Taisis. Like it says in the Meiri clearly and in the Baram Chalava clearly, right in the beginning of Arab Psach. That's the Takon of Dalit Kaisis, Dalit Kais Broch. That in each one you should say a different Shema. Now Taisis is being mechadish that this Dalit Kais Brocha is different than every other Kais Brocha. Near Lachmit. It's not like Kiddush the whole year where there's no chiyuv to drink. This Dalit Kais Brocha is each one has to have his own kais. It's at the din of Kais Brocha. We shall lay a poker. It's at the din of Kais Brocha. These Dalit Kais Brocha, B'leil Pesach, each one should have his own kais. The Shtiya is al the Kais Brocha. A similar halacha you find, a similar that al the Kais Brocha there's din Shtiya. In Hilchos Shabbos, Reish Ayin Beis, I think, or Reish Ayin Gimel, there's the Shita of the Go'enim. We don't pass like that. The Shita of the Go'enim, by Kiddush, Leil Shabbos, the Mekadosh has to drink the kais. For every Kais Brocha, you can give to somebody else. But by Kiddush, the separate halacha that the Mekadosh has to drink of that Kais Brocha. So that's the word of Tais over here. By Dalit Kaisis is similar to the Shittas HaGo'enim of Kiddush of Shabbos. That by Dalit Kaisis, everybody has to have his own kais. Everybody has to drink his Kais Brocha. That's for the fact that Tais says, Machmir, he has to be zoyer that the kais shouldn't be a kais pub. That's the chura halacha in Kais Brocha. That's halacha in Kais Brocha that Tais is finished saying. So if it's halacha in Kais Brocha, so therefore, okay, according to this, could be this din that we can be mitzvah of the two dinim. The third din that we said is a din of Shtiyas HaKaisis. And now we're saying that according to Shittas HaTosfos, if of the Kais Brocha you have to drink it, that's it. They're connected one with another, so to say. I can make one. Let's see. yes, this is coming with the din shtiyas hakoises. This is coming with the din koishel bracha. But it comes out that over here, each kois needs a bracha, and I have to drink the kois. Okay. All right, this is the kitzur. We can go, we'll bring more rise to this from other dinim. The pashtus, that the din koishel bracha, that there is a koishel bracha. I mean, that's the pashtus loshen of the Mishnayos in Arvik Psachim. It's the pashtus loshen in the halacha. Tov ein gimel sif aleph. Moise kois vision for eimer of kiddush hayay. By Birchas Hamazon, that you have to, even though you don't have to hold the kois till the fichoch, and the holding of the kois is that kois bracha, still the moise the kois by the agode later. Then by Birchas Hamazon. Achir is current say things are kois shlishi levorach al Birchas Hamazon. And then later, after Shas Kodesh Birchas Hamazon, say the kois of the year ligmor alof zahav. And that's not the Alter Rebbe. That's the lashon of the Mishnah. That's the lashon of the Mishnah. So you have to do these things. It's not only shtiyas al koises, but yom alof kiddush hayom, yom alof Birchas Hamazon, yom alof ha'halal, yom alof the bracha shegolona. These are clear halachas. So you have to say these things on the kois. They leimer, which could be either mitzad the shtiyas hakoises or als the din of koishel bracha. That there's a din of koishel bracha. Then there's a din by Birchas Hamazon that the Alter Rebbe brings. Kai said that in Tofai Test Sif base, Kai said say the dadig boy imunoki mishur kaises. Ein shur yain shur by pass. You made a knock and say Stiefen. Doch. Commission is by Simon Kuf Pei Gimel that the kais of Birchas Hamazon has a regular din of kaishel bracha. So it's not only shtiyas hakaises, but there has to have the kais noki Kuf Pei Gimel. That's the halachas of kaishel bracha. In Tov Ein Gimel, also he says, Ashek Seich Kolech Lechem Yodos, Sif Lamates. After the Tzech Nim Ze Kosheni, the Ein Tzech Stife V'Adoche, Shai Shot V'Vedicha Koin Makiddush. In other words, since he didn't use the kois for any of Shtia Shal Rishus, and the kois was already a Stife V'Adoche for Kois Kiddush, was already a Kois Bracha, so you don't need a new Stife V'Adoche. What's the how you need a new Stife V'Adoche? Because there's a lot of Kois Bracha. Besides the shtiyas hakois, the shtifa adoche is halacha mitzad koisha bracha. You see that clearly. Okay. Now let's go back to the Agoda. What do you say? Time is fast. Right? Let's go back to the clause number 1. You have to know what you're learning and not chap. What is the heading of this whole ketta that we're talking about? The heading is Kaddish. The Rebbe over here is not speaking about dinim of Dalet Kaisis. As far as Dalet Kaisis is concerned, is the next piece. There's a heading of Dalet Kaisis. In the next piece of the Agoda, there's a heading Dalet Kaisis. Mitzvah Divrei Rav Nosson Chayovitzvah. Etc. He speaks about Dalet Kaisis over there. But Pratim of Dalet Kaisis. This heading over here is Kadesh. He's talking about Kiddush. He's not talking about the Chiyuv of Dalet Kaisis. He's talking about Kiddush. And what does it mean that he's talking about Kiddush? V'chol yontev chai v'kiddush v'divrei seifrim. V'shchal v'shabbat yeshu gam ken ikim v'nateiro. Moisiv aleya b'layla hazeh. We're talking about Kiddush. That every yontev there's a chiyuv mitzvah to be mekad. And Shabbos, that Kiddush also has an ikum and a teil. Moisiv aleim b'layla hazeh, the Kiddush. We're not talking about Dalet Kaisis. Except this Kiddush, who echod ma'arba Kaisis, shei mitzvah divrei seifrim b'leil Pesach. Shei mitzvah divrei seifrim b'leil Pesach. That this Kiddush is also happens to be, it's talking about the din Kiddush mitzat atzmoi. That since the Kiddush is one of the Dalet Kaisis, what does it mean is one of the Dalet Kaisis? Because like we were Mavayir till now, that mitzat the Dalet Kaisis itself, the first kais has to be a kais shel Kiddush. The first kais has to be a kais shel Kiddush, the third din that we spoke, right? So it's one of the Dalet Kaisis, which are mitzvah divrei seifrim b'layla Pesach. But he's talking only about the Kiddush. And therefore, Eina Mekadosh ala pas. You cannot be Mekadosh ala pas. Why can't you be Mekadosh ala pas? So according to what we're talking about, the Chumash has two Mekadosh. It has Simon Tov Ein Gimel, Tov Ein Beis, Siv Chof Ches, where he says since it's one of the Dalet Kaisis, you have to be Mekadosh. So therefore, the first kais has to be a kais shel Kiddush. That did. The second reason is Tov Pei Gimel. You can't be Mekadosh ala pas. That even if you're not going to be Mekayim Dalet Kaisis, the Chazal v'Mesaken, because of Dalet Kaisis, because there's a corner of Dalet Kaisis, Chazal v'Mesaken, that Kiddush has to be ala pas. He doesn't say it to a Mekur. Why doesn't he say it to a Mekur? Rani is daiti. You'll soon see. First of all, even without any kopuli, even without any diuk, which Pashas and Mashmois, he didn't want to be taken to a Mekur. That's the Pashas and Mashmois, because there's a period over here. So what I'm going to say, the Chui is going to go against that period. But I have another way. Ein Mekadosh ala pas is just since this din has two reasons. Of the Kiddush itself, tonight, because there's a corner of Dalet Kaisis, so there was socket in the Kiddush that the Kiddush has to be dafka l'yad. But that's not what he's talking about over here. Because over here, he writes clearly, who echad mit Dalet Kaisis. It's one of the Dalet Kaisis. Okay, it's an echad with Dalet Kaisis. That's the reason why they made the takon in the Kiddush. Okay, fine. So then it's to forgive. But Pashto, if I take it to Sifkov Ches, so somebody will make a mistake and think that the Kais Rishon is the Kais Shel Kiddush, so that's only when I drink Dalet Kaisis. But if, let's say, Lu Yitzur, I won't drink Dalet Kaisis, I only have sweet Kaisis, then maybe I won't have Nik. So therefore, but he could say to both Mekayos. That's what I'm doing. Say to both Mekayos. Say to Tov Ein Beis and say to Tov Pei Gimel. Why doesn't? So we'll soon see that the Makor that he brings in the second Nafkamina is a Makor for Aleph also. That somebody else can't be Moitzi Chavasa. So we learned is because you have to drink, right? That's what we said. And we said because you have to drink. According to what we just finished saying, that's not true, right? Is not because you have to drink, it's because that's the takona of the Kiddush itself, right? Let's take a look in the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe. The Makor that the Rebbe Tzeichel to. In Seif Chav Aleph, the Alter Rebbe says, you have to force yourself to drink the Dal Kaises. Okay. Seif Chav Beis. Al Kiddush shel Shar Yom Tovim v'Shabbos ain't tzarich litchis atzma. You don't have to push yourself. You can hear the Kiddush from somebody else. What in the world is he talking about? What's the whole arichas over here in the Alter Rebbe? What he should say is Kiddush Shayam Taim ain't tzarich lishtes. Period. Why does he bring the fact that Elo Yochel Lishma Kiddush Ma'acher? You can hear the Kiddush from somebody else. Why does he bring that? That you can hear the Kiddush from somebody else. What's that Negeya? Leo Pesach, he can also hear the Kiddush from somebody else. He writes, Minei Yibei. She'av bnei abayis and Shema Kiddush v'agodim balabayis av ken chay kol echad echad nishtal kaises. Okay, so you have to. So Alter Rebbe should say, what the Alter Rebbe should say is Kiddush Shayam Taim ain't tzarich lishtes. That's all. Yochel Lishma Ma'acher. That's it. And it's what's the whole arichas over here in the Alter Rebbe? He starts Sifchov Aleph. Sifchov Aleph that you have to force yourself to drink the Dal Kaises. That's Sifchov Aleph. And he says that this is different than Kiddush Shayam Tovim. Why is it different than Kiddush Shayam Tovim? Because with Kiddush Shayam Tovim, it's only a mitzvah of Kiddush and there's no din of drinking. What's the whole arichas? Ain't tzarich litchis atzmai ela yochel lishma Kiddush Ma'acher. Yochel lishma Kiddush Ma'acher is not only Shayam Taim, that's Leil Pesach also. He says, Bnei Bai Shema Kiddush Ma'agodah. What's the arichas over here? What I see from the arichas over here is, Leil Pesach is not only that I have to drink. My kois has to be a kois of Kiddush. I have to drink from a kois of Kiddush. That's the din below Pesach. Besides the fact that I have to drink, a whole year I can hear the Kiddush. I don't have to drink at all. Tonight it's not only a chiyuv that I have to drink. What I'm drinking has to be a kois of Kiddush. In other words, that everybody has to have his own kois. What? Because what is the al kiddush shayim tevim ain't tzarich litchis atzmai lishma kois. Ela yochel lishma Kiddush Ma'acher. And when I hear the Kiddush from the Acher, Moshe Bar Siman Ein Reish Beis, I don't even have to drink. Nothing. I can hear the Kiddush, and there's no chiyuv shtia. There's no chiyuv shtia of drinking from this Kiddush. There's no chiyuv of drinking from a koishel Kiddush. The whole chiyuv is only hearing Kiddush. That's the whole chiyuv. Over here, I have to drink from the koishel Kiddush. So everybody has to have, even though the words of the Kiddush I can hear from somebody else, but I have to drink a koishel Kiddush. The way we were speaking. I have to drink a koishel Kiddush. If I don't drink a koishel Kiddush, so I'm not yetzer. Why do I have to drink a koishel Kiddush? So the third din, because that's good for the din of the Dal koises. That each kois has to be a distinct kois with its own name. The fourth din, that tonight, besides drinking Dal koises, there's a halacha, let's take Tosfos, that Kiddush has to be ala yayin, and I have to drink it. And I have to drink it. So now, when the Alter Rebbe over here, when he says אלא כל אחד ואחד, אף מכן חייב כל אחד ואחד לשתות על כוסס דרך חירוס. The Churi is repeating what he already said in Sif Chof Aleph. He already said in Sif Chof Aleph that kol echad chayiv nitche gesatz. Avken chayiv nitche gesatz on ishes dal kais. He already said it. Why is he repeating that? What is he being mechadish over here in Sif Chof Beis? From the Arichas Haloshon that he's being mechalik between Kiddush Shar Yom Hashana and Leil Pesach, you see clearly one of these two dinim, either the third din or the fourth din, according to Tosfos. Or you can be Messiah of both dinim together. That you see clearly. Because otherwise the whole Arichas of the Alter Rebbe doesn't make sense. It's only a repetition of Sif Chof Aleph. So when the Rebbe Tzeichen Su, any Yochel Lotzes Yidei Chavos Me'acher, what does that mean? A whole year, the Koisha Kiddush is only a din on the Mekadesh. The Bnei Bayis just have to be Yetzer the Kiddush. And Yetzer the whole Chiyuv of Kiddush just by the fact that the Balabais made Kiddush and he drank. And Yetzer was his drinking. I don't have to drink. Leil Pesach, it's not like that. Leil Pesach, I'm not Yetzer the Kiddush of somebody else. Not in other words, the drinking of the cup of Kiddush. There's a chiv of drinking the cup of Kiddush. Then I'm Yetzer with somebody else for every Shabbos and Yom. Leil Pesach, I'm not Yetzer with somebody else. I have to drink my own. Either mitzat the Shita of Pesach, or mitzat the third din, because the Kois Rishon has to be a Koishal Kiddush. Or mitzat the takona, the masakin that the kiddush has to be al yayin, and Tosfos says that this kiddush has to be al yayin. This kosher bracha is a chiyuv for everybody to drink. This kosher bracha, and this you see that clear in the Arichas Haloshon of the Alter Rebbe. So when the Rebbe Tzeichen Su he's not only talking about the fact that everybody has a chiyuv to drink. That is said in Sif Chof Aleph already. He's talking about the Kiddush of Leil Pesach. I'm not Yetzer with the drinking of the Balabais. A whole year I'm Yetzer with the drinking of the Balabais, and tonight I have to drink the Koishal Kiddush myself. So everybody has to have his own kois. That's what he's talking about. So it comes out according to this, from Sif Chof Beis, you also have the first din. Because the Kiddush tonight is a chiyuv on the Dalet Koises. Mitzad the Dalet Koises. Either the Kiddush has to be a Koishal Brocha according to the Agdor of Tosfos, or the noise of it, another takona according to what's mashma in the Alter Rebbe. It's a separate takona. Tiknu Gamkein. Because the assault of Dalet Koises is like a shtir, but you have the second din. And you have also the third din, the third nekuda, the third agdor that we spoke about. It comes out that this marmokim of the nafkamina base is be'etzem makor. Over there is merumas, the nafkamina aleph. What? Because it's two nafkaminas l'mayis. Ein achmoitzi, ein mekarish al din in dinim. It's two separate things. Ein mekarish al pas. Because there's a corner to make kiddush dafkan yayin. Like the Alter Rebbe says clearly.
But then in Gimel, he also says two different details.
1 second, we're soon coming to Gimel. We're soon coming to Gimel. Now, in Gimel, L'churi says two different details. Be medaik in the Loshen. Deichik atzmai lishtes dalet kaises. What's dalet kaises come in over here? We're talking about dalet kaises. Why does he mention the word dalet kaises? That's what you're talking about. So all you should say is what's it? Why does he write the word of dalet kaises? Why does he write the word? Why does he write the words of dalet kaises? That's what we're talking about over here. That Laila Hazeh, Kiddush is Neisaf, that is one of the Dalit Kaises. That's what we're talking about. So Deichik Atzma Lishta. That's all you should have to say. Because the Yesod of the din that Deichik Atzma is by Dalit Kaises. And if you don't drink Dalit Kaises, you're not making the mitzvah of Shtiyas Dalit Kaises. The Rebbe is over here saying a big Chiddush, a very big Chiddush. That even though the Yesod of the din of Deichik Atzma als Persuma Nisa, like the Magen Avraham says, when do I have Persuma Nisa? Only if I drink Dalit Kaises. And that's the Takana. And it's not the Persuma Nisa, so there is this special din that over here, Meichik Susay, and Deichik Atzma, even though it's Mazik. So that's by Dalit Kaises. But since I see in the Alter Rebbe that tonight they were Misak Dalit Kaises, so therefore they made a din in Kiddush also. The Kiddush has to be Daf Galayayin. Kiddush has to be Daf Galayayin. Right? So they made a din in Kiddush. So the Rebbe is being mechadish over here that any din that you find in Dalit Kaises will apply to Kiddush also.
To say,
even if you only have one kais, that's the Chiddush of Gimel. That even with that says there's a din by Dalit Kaises. And that's why the Rebbe doesn't say to the Shulchan Aruch, to Sifin Shulchan Aruch, and he puts both things together. He's saying the dinim of Dalit Kaises that we find, the Chidushim that we find by Dalit Kaises, the Deichik Atzma Lishta, Meichik Susay, that although it's two separate dinim, that applies to the Kiddush also. That's what he's saying again. The Makor of Nedarim Psachim is only Dalit Kaises. I don't find such a Kiddush for Kiddush. The Rebbe is being mechadish over here that since we find by Dalit Kaises these bills dinim, and we find like this we spoke that the Alter Rebbe says that since Kiddush is part of the Dalit Kaises, whether mitzad the Kaish Bracha or mitzad the Etzim Shtiyas Dalit Kaises. So whatever din applies to Dalit Kaises will apply to Kiddush also. So even and the Kiddush will be that even if I'll only have one kais, so the Rebbe, the Makor that the Rebbe Tzeichas over here is only for the Yesod din by Dalit Kaises. And that's why I has to stress over here Dalit Kaises. And Gimel is being mechadish that this din of Dalit Kaises will apply to Kiddush. That's what he's being mechadish, which is a gewaldige Kiddush. It will apply to Kiddush also, and so even and the nafkamina will be that even if I only have one kais, which I have to use for Kiddush, and I hate wine the whole year, I make Kiddush ala pas. Tonight, I have to drink the wine. And tonight, if Barech Eksusa I can only get one kais of wine, I have to do it. Dalit. Should I go on or should I leave this for tomorrow? It's already 1:05. What? Whoever wants to leave can leave. Okay. Dalit. Eina Mekadesh Ela B'Layla. Okay, I'll be Mekatz over here.
Since when will Mischasha?
What?
Since when will Mischasha?
Well, tonight if I won't be Mischasha, they can just run away. And so that's the problem. Like this, I have them in the class, I can scream at them. But they're at home, how can I scream at them? Okay, whatever. But I'll come upon it. So Dalit, Eina Mekadesh Ela B'Layla Mamash. The Chiddush over here is like this. Although there is a mashmois in the Tumas Tradition also, but in the poskim you find that some say I can make Kiddush before. You see over here a lot of times people they want after half hour after shkia, and every minute counts. And we're in a rush. They don't wait for the and every minute counts. So Kiddush, especially little Pesach, Kiddush is a ganze Ram. It'll take a couple of minutes to say Kiddush. You say with the Kabbalah and say each word. So, according to the reason of the Tumas Hadeshin, because it's one of the Dalit cases, so I can make Kiddush just before Tzeitzah Kachavim. By the time I finish Kiddush, it'll be Tzeitzah Kachavim, and drink the kais. So I drank the 4 kaises for Laila. If you're medayik in the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe says clearly, you don't start the Kiddush until Tzeis HaKachon. He doesn't say don't drink the Kos of Kiddush until Tzeis. Don't start the Kiddush until Tzeis HaKachon. And why not start the Kiddush? The Alter Rebbe says that what? So when you say we're not only talking about the drinking, because the Kiddush itself is also a chelik of the Daled case. And therefore the Kiddush itself also should be said, I'm being mekatzer over here, because there's a chokyakiv and this, it's a mashmois, that the main thing is the drinking of the cup. There's a prima godim, there's a Taz that learns, what? Huh? No, I won't have enough for an hour. I'm just saying, but it could take another 20 minutes. But so I'm just being with Katzer. One second. I left out by Gimel. So that was asked a question that l'chura in Shulchan Aruch it's two separate halachas. L'chura it's two separate chidushim. The Rebbe over here is not talking out the etzmat din. The chiddush of Gimel is that the dinim that apply to Daled Kaisis will apply to Kiddush. And as far as that is concerned, this chiddush that the dinim of Daled Kaisis apply to Kiddush, out Kiddush, is one nekudah. It's not two nekudas. The etzem din, the yesod of the din that I have moichek susay, and the deichik atim is taka two nekudas. One is that over here there's no p'tur of Yimaz Yesim Chaimish. The second one is that even though you mitzvah, it's at the Chaimish Gavra, how far the key of Shtia goes, etc. But that's a din in Daled Kaisis, and Shtia is Daled Kaisis over there. And that's why the Rebbe stress over here, Daled Kaisis. But in the Chiddush over here of, okay, Yesh Lochus Das Elo Eimish Mitzvah Lishta is Kol HaKais Akaponim Rubay, which the Chura is a din in Shtiya's Daled Kaisis, right? Let's take a look in the Alter Rebbe Sifyu test. Take a look in the Lashon. It's so meduyik over there. Mamish, over here you see the whole pilpul that I'm talking about. Sifyu test. Yeshem Shchatchila Mitzvah Lishtas Kol HaKais. Afilu Machzik Kama Revi'is. Avapi Shebekidush Shal Yom Tovim Shabbos Afilu Chatchila Dai B'Shtiyas Molen Lugma of Dainu Revi'is. Makol Malkeim B'Daled Kaisis Shal Pesach Eshmiru Chachomim Lishtas Kol HaKais L'Chatchila. But the Eved shall raise the Kais Yotza. The Eved. So what is the question of it? Av Mishabekidush Shal Yom Tovim B'Shabbos Afilu Chatchila Dai B'Shtiyas Molen Lugma. What's the question that the Alter Rebbe is asking? The takana over here is Lishtes Daled Kaisis. The Kiddush of Kol HaShana is on a din of Kais Bracha. It's not a din of Shtiyas HaKais. I have a din of Kais Bracha. Kiddush Shayam Tevin Shabbos Afilu Chatchila Dai B'Shtiyas Molen Lugma. What I know is. Why? Because over there's no din of Shtiyah Be'etzem. The only reason why I'm shaised by Kais Bracha is either because so it should be nikkud that the bracha is going on the yayin, or because I made a very priyakofen, which is the main shira al yayin, so therefore it shouldn't be bracha at all, so never have to do. So the main point is the bracha, not the shtiyah. So what bichlal is it? Why bichlal? Just say simply. Yesh Eimish L'Chatchila Mitzvah Lishtes Kol HaKais Afilu Machzik Kama Revi'is. So you see that over here, from the fact that the Alter Rebbe, again over here, just like in other places, because over here there's a din by Daled Kaisis that is a Kaishal Kiddush. And this Kaishal Kiddush of Daled Kaisis, or this Kaishal Bracha of Kiddush of Daled Kaisis, what? It has a separate din, not only as the mitzvah of Daled Kaisis. It's not the Kiddush itself. Not only because Daled Kaisis is a mitzvah is Daled Kaisis. So the Rebbe is being mechav, and he says over here, this will apply even if you only have one kais. Because the takana is tiknu the kaddish ala yayindav. Because and the reason for that tiknu the kaddish ala yayindav is because tonight is at the corner of Dalit Kaisis. So therefore, Kiddush also gets this din. So therefore, even if you're only going to drink one kais, you have to be choish to the das of Ramban that you have to drink the whole kais, not like a whole year that you don't drink the whole kais. And like you see that the Alter Rebbe over here, it compared the Kiddush Kol Hashan, the Kaish of Bracha Kol Hashan, doesn't need it, but that's the corner of the Laila Hazeh. Comes out the Rebbe. What the Rebbe is saying over here, he's saying dinim chudoshim in the Kiddush of Leil Pesach. Dinim chudoshim in the Kiddush of Leil Pesach, and he's saying going over here loizu avzu. Each one is a point in itself, a bigger Kiddush, a bigger Kiddush. The first Kiddush is Ein Mekadosh Lapas Dafka Liyad, which can as can occur, which is partially over here. The second one is the Ein Achamoitzi De Chavosai. It's not only that everybody has to have his own kais, his own kais of Kiddush, which is like in Seichen Sus, Sifchov Beis. The third one is a bigger Kiddush, that whatever din applies to Dalit Kaises, when I'm a Kai, the mitzvah of Dalit Kaises, will apply to the Kiddush of Alayla also. The fourth one is that the Etzem Amiris HaKiddush, which is not a din on every single body, because that can be Yaitz with Shomer Koine, but it has to be also the life. Not even the Shti of the Kiddush, the Etzem Amir of the Kiddush. The first one, this din that which Lechur is only a din that we Mesaken Shti is Dalit Kaises, and that's why the Ramban says that I have to drink the whole kais. It's not enough just with Rav Revi'id. The first one. That applies to Kiddush also. That the Kiddush over here has a din of Shtiyas HaKais. What? No, the hay is the biggest, is even a bigger Kiddush. What? No. Over here, I'm saying the Etzem Amira of the Kiddush is also connected. Why? It's a whole different. Okay, but the hay is a bigger Kiddush. Because the Chur is Shtiyas, they have to drink the whole kais is only a din of the Shtiyah. It's only a din of the Shtiyah because we're Mesaken the Shtiyah is Dalit kais. What does it have to do? And if I'll only have one kais, I'll have to drink the whole kais. Why should I apply that? That's a very big chiddush. The Shtiyas HaKais is the Shtiyas Kol HaKais, that L'chur is only a din in. That's what you can say from one side. And the other side is that hay is a separate chiddush, because since Lamaisa, what does Alter Rebbe Paskin in Sifyu Tes? The Alter Rebbe Paskin that Yesh Cholken on Sefer Oimrim she'avlech atchilu dai b'shtiyas Rav Revi'id after Makais machzil kam Revi'id v'chein ik v'chein aminik posh u'mekol makom tev lochish b'svar rishayim. It's only a tev lochish b'svar rishayim. So in other words, it's a chumri yisera. So now I'm applying this chiddush to the kiddush itself also, even when Lu Yitzhak only have one kois. That's like a chumri yisera on a chumri yisera. So that's why it's the last one. In other words, it's that I have to do such a thing. The whole lochish over here is only the shlochus chatchila. Now I'm talking about him saying a din of the kiddush, and I'm applying this also, which even by dal cases is only a chumra chatchila. So mitzat etzem din. Okay, so Al Kapanim, what a yates midvareinu, leave out the whole lumdus, whatever it is, just push it, right? That's just the background in order to be able to understand. Oh, we one question that we left. We said that the whole Seder over here is not like the Seder of the Shulchan Aruch. That's, according to what we said, is very Prussian. Tov Ayin Beis, the Seder of Shulchan Aruch is talking the dinim of Dal cases Mitzad Atzmi. So in the order of the dinim of Dal cases Mitzad Atzmi, that's the Seder of the Shulchan Aruch that he goes whatever din there is in the Shulchan. The Rebbe over here is not dealing with the dinim of Dal cases Mitzad Atzmi. He's dealing of what dinim of Dal Kais apply to Kiddush. So he's going in a way of loizu avzu. This then is partial. This then is a bigger chiddush. This then is a bigger chiddush. That's the order that he's going. That he's applying this. Noisev aleim. No, that's how the Rebbe starts. Noisev aleim b'layla zeh shu echad ma'abakais. That makes a different thing. I have these dinim in the kingdom. So that's what he's dealing with. So the Seder of Shulchan Aruch is not a gay over here, because the Seder of Shulchan Aruch, that's the dinim of Dal Kais B'Chlal. What the Rebbe is dealing with over here is the chidushim of Dal Kais that apply to the kiddush.
But hey, the Rebbe doesn't say this. The point of this what we have to do.
Yesh lochush. Yeah, yesh lochush. But that's since the whole thing is only a shas. That I should apply to kiddush itself. Something which even by Dal Kais is only a yesh lochush.
I'm looking for Aleph as a period after Aleph. When you change.
What? I don't know.
You said
Can't say everything. I don't know.
The printers put up here.
The Rebbe said, "Ein l'day kol kach b'psikim
The printers.
u'nekudas v'agodas hanitzfesas."